the Taylor Swift line on Famous. Did you really talk to Taylor Swift? And was she cool with what was said?
Yes, I told her that we was gonna say that.
And I done invented every style of music of the past 20 years.
But I'm a good person. Okay. That's what you gonna say you get to the gates.
Well, you said to not speak egotistically, so I'm not gonna talk.
Right. It's my job to innovate, and if you hear something that's completely innovative, you might not get it at first.
All of y'all, I'm headed to Africa.
Hello, your partner Big Boy's Neighborhood, Big Boy 30 special episodes continues, and this one right here is Ye. I've had Ye many a times in the neighborhood, man, and Ye is one of those where you don't know what you're going to get from Kanye West when he comes to the neighborhood. Let's get into it right here, man. This is Big Boy 30, a special episode with Ye speaking his mind on music. Let's make it happen. Alrighty, Big Boy's Neighborhood. I've been waiting on this one, and this one felt like it's been a long time coming. And I don't mean production, I don't mean going to the studio. I just had a chance to kind of speak with you off, and we were talking about tuition into the School of Experience. Jesus is King is a lot of tuition into the School of Experience, correct?
Absolutely.
A lifelong tuition?
Yes. I mean, it was up to him. It's God's plan.
What's going on in the studio right now for Kanye West?
We're working on that Cruel Winter album.
Cruel Winter.
So we've been in the lab. Travis is in there last night. Been in a lab with Yo Gotti, Big Sean. A few people have been coming through. You know,
Really?
Yeah.
Does it feel like it's magic happening in there again?
Oh, most definitely.
Man, I got to make sure I get down there, brother. Put me a verse on that.
Hey.
Yeah.
Now that's Cruel Winter that's going down.
Yes.
And we get a chance to get that, I guess, in the winter.
No, we're gonna drop it whenever we feel like, cause it's cold.
Yeah. Hello. Hey man, do you feel, Kanye, that you're not in competition, but are you in competition with yourself?
With the old me? Or
Right. Do you miss the old Kanye?
Yeah, I miss the. You know what I'm saying?
What is the old Kanye though? And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you hear that for you to make a record in reference to it. What
you
do people
tweeted
say
about
to
it.
you? Yeah, when they say I miss the old Kanye, what does that mean?
It's just when you have so many ways that you want to mix music together that people haven't even heard or thought about it. And now, you know, when people start trying to think about exactly what you're going to do before you even get a chance to do it, it's just a bit, it's more difficult now to constantly surprise the audience.
Is it?
Yeah.
And when you say more difficult, I would figure also where, you know how that sometimes you would do something and then down the line would say, oh, I got it now. Do you still feel like, man, like we're playing a round of catch up sometimes? Not disrespectfully, but like they get it.
Yeah, I'm still, every time I drop, I'm trying to give you something from the future, something I saw, a vision that I can express sonically. Yeah.
First off, man, when we think about Vultures 1, Vultures 2, and we understand that's Vultures 3 as well, what exactly is Vultures?
You know, Ty made it where I was able to make music because he just didn't bring none of the music industry bullshit to the table. It's just a lot of, sometimes I feel like people get into music because they don't want to have to actually work. Like even we did Donda, I had people show up at 8 a.m. because I thought like when people are in the league, they gotta show up. They gotta work no matter how famous they are, no matter how much money they get. But music is something where, you know, we'll be working at 3 a.m. or sleeping in, and you know, I got to a point where I was, you know, recalibrating my whole life, frustrated with a lot of the positions I've been in, and you know, my focus over the past year and a half was the music and then the clothing, mostly the shoes. So I put everything I had left into both of those.
With Jesus is King, the album, you know how you heard so much, man, I miss the old Kanye. Now this has seemed like it's even further when we were saying we miss the old Kanye. What does that do for Kanye, like your catalog? I go to a Kanye concert. Do I hear Good Life? Do I hear Ninjas in Paris? Like, what does that do for your old catalog that we enjoy so much?
Well, they made movies about Steve Jobs so y'all can understand who I am. Now,
when you go to the Apple Store, I don't be seeing no iPod 4.
We missed the old iPod 4 though. You know?
Go take you to eBay and get you the old Kanye and get you the vintage iPod 4 while you at it. Why don't you get you a Sega 8-bit?
Would you say you probably may never do another one of those songs again live?
It ain't even a probably. Like, no, we could play that beat.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm just adjusting. Even when I do Jesus Walks, I say, we ain't trying to turn atheists into believers. Now I say, we are turning atheists into believers. And it be all off beat and everything. I'll be like, yep.
Yeah.
There you go. Like, he can make it all good for him. He meaning specifically Jesus Christ. So you don't get it mixed up with green juice and Air One. You don't get mixed up with yoga. You don't get mixed up with, but I'm a good person. Okay. That's what you gonna say you get to the gates. But I'm a good person. Oh, go on down there with that. You did not accept Jesus, but I'm a good person. And this is not dissing good people. Now, obviously, there's some Christians that's bad people. You know what I mean? Like, real mean. I had an auntie that was real mean. Just made me hate church. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be nowhere near it. My daughter, I showed her a round image from James Terrell, and she saw it. She said, that looks like church. My daughter was crying and said she needs to go to church every Sunday, and it needs to be here. What 6-year-old you know, or anybody that you know, when you think back to being 6, that your idea of church was you had a positive thought association to church? Mm-hmm. It ain't your most, you'd be like, oh, summer camp, or I play basketball, or I did this, you know.
Yeah, church did have a kind of stigma to it growing up. You know what I'm saying?
And we had a stigma because we started small. Because we only did church with our friends so we could learn before the whole world saw it. That thing needed to be tight to grow. And now it's a place where we pull up to Jamaica and people are well receiving it. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate the journey. I appreciate the suffering so that we know how Jesus suffered. I appreciate the doubters. I appreciate all the dynamics that humanity has to present because it allows me to be the only kid in the pink polo.
Kanye, we had a chance to speak last night. What did you bring us today?
I brought y'all the first single from Cruel Winter.
Ooh,
and what is the first single from Cruel Winter?
You know,
have you got a title on it yet?
I don't want to talk about it too much before the people just hear it and we just play it.
All right.
And then we talk about it afterwards because I don't want to give away too much of the magic.
Kanye, now, I could be braggadocious, but why did you bring this to me first or only? Come on now. I'm going to turn your mic up real loud too, man.
You know, this is the real right here, man. You know?
Hey.
Say that one more again.
You ain't got to say it again. I heard you the first time. You know what I'm saying?
Real 92.3.
And I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you for bringing it up to us, man. And what we're going to do, the song is so new that we asked him what the title of it is. I don't even think Kanye know the title yet. He just say, new single.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's play it and then let's decide what the title should be after that.
Yes.
Kanye, Dub, we will play it. We waiting on people to send it to us. Don't keep trying to make it seem like it's my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm waiting. As soon as they send us that final ooh-wop, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna play it, man. It's got to be easy for people to come and do like a feature for you. Is it just a phone call, or do you just grab them when they show up?
A lot of times it's just the energy in the studio, whoever's coming by, and then we get to talking about, you know, who would sound nice on the track, start reaching out, sending the instrumentals over.
If The Life of Pablo got like 17 on it, right? How many does Kanye record for us to have the 17?
Might be about 40.
Really?
Then it's also like small ideas.
Yeah.
Like if it's just like me murmuring over a track or into my iPhone, it might be for FML. I mean, I looked through about 200 voice notes. Damn. And just found that that melody line, and we just started working the lyrics into that line by line, and Weeknd got it, worked his lyrics into it, so you know.
But I noticed also is you'll always grab your phone and whatever ideas are there, and there was songs that I was hearing, I was like, oh man, this is the one. Then when I got The Life of Pablo, they weren't on there. What do you do with unreleased material?
We hope, like this song right now that we're about to drop. I had this chorus and the basic idea for the beat for like a year and a half. And I would play it for people. People wanted. They tried to take it from me and stuff. And I was always like, it sounded right for this project. I was like, when we start on the next Cruel Summer, which is this right here, Cruel Winter, this is the hook that I think we should have for the first single.
Who do you listen to in the studio that could tell you that's not it? Do you have someone around you that's like, nah, that's not it?
Oh, definitely. Like Plain Pat is a very important A&R. And, you know, he basically discovered me at Def Jam. He was a person at Def Jam. We got my boy Mel that actually was shopping me to everybody playing Jesus Walks, and people wouldn't sign me. And they say, y'all, they ain't gonna play a song about Jesus on the radio. And then Pat was up there working, doing like administrative work, and he was like, I like this producer on Rockefeller. I wanna get behind what he's doing. And then he started working the building for me. And to this date, he's one of the best A&Rs. He also discovered Kid Cudi.
Ty, you can give him something, even like just a murmur of something. He could bring it back with the words. He can fix all the notes on it. He could bring the drums, the music. But more than anything on this project, you know, he brought himself as someone who stood beside me when a million people told him to not stand beside me. And he also brought hit records. Like, you know, we had this joke like, oh man, this is Jay's first #1 hit in 17 years. And this is Ty's first #1 hit in 2 years.
I don't think people understand how talented you are and how you can get in there and pretty much do everything in the studio with your eyes closed, and you know what I'm saying, and bring in an orchestra, and we think that it's just one sound, but you're really orchestrating this musical ensemble and working hard, and people don't get a chance to really see that. We hear it, but we don't know what goes into it.
So you better ask somebody.
Yeah, and if you don't ask, sometimes you got to tell people what you're doing and how great you do the things that you do. Because sometimes it sounds so not simple, but so beautiful to us that we don't understand what goes into it. You know what I'm saying? The blood, sweat, and the real tears that go into making a project such as this.
And the anointing. His, like you said, talent is like on some Prince. Like he can do what other people can do, and other people can't do what he could do. Like I can't play instruments.
Right.
I can't halfway even sing. You know what
you do? You know what I'm saying?
That's called confidence. That's this is called delusion.
Hey man, but
You be singing though.
and the thing about it, man, is not only do you sing, you get a whole crowd to sing with you. And the one thing that we do know is that when we hear you, we know it's you.
It's my job to innovate, and if you hear something that's completely innovative, you might not get it at first. When you first would hear Neptune's beat back in the days, or a Swiss beat, or even Juicy J's style of programming, which is now Juicy J for 3-6, which is now, you know, basically 80% of how rap sound.
Yeah.
You know, so it's certain people's job to be the innovator, to push the envelope, and when you do that, you go out there. You know, people not always going to understand what you're talking about, what you're playing. But, you know, it's like what they say about my records. They say they even research higher a year in.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. Like sometimes it just feel like it's ahead, and then cats play catch up sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you watch numbers, like Billboard numbers, and how many records are sold, or do you just release the body of music?
Yeah, you know, like I'll talk to my management and my team, and they'll tell me about that. But I'm usually constantly just working on new music, constantly just trying to create and put out things that create an energy that people just need. You know.
Legendary in here, ladies and gentlemen. Very legendary. And Kanye is here as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yo, tell him turn the music down over there. Can we tell him turn the music down?
Can we turn the music down?
Yeah, keep it silent.
I don't know where to start at, bro. First off, I gotta say, there's a lot of people in Wyoming right now that's probably never been to Wyoming. That probably may never come back to Wyoming. But we are here, bro, and you can't say this was a listening party. We can't say this. What would you call it? Is this an event? Like, because now everyone here is connecting. We'll say, man, I remember when I saw you in Wyoming the last time. So what were you trying to do when you brought us here for this kind of event?
Just bring people together and just keep spreading love with the music and all of these friends. We've been in this game together. We all played our position of music and messaging, and it was good just to see so many people just come together and link in just a place they wouldn't usually be.
Is it crazy that you could put something together this fast and we all show up?
Yeah, that's love right there.
Yeah.
That's love.
And you know,
that's, I feel like a family member.
Listening to Ye album a couple times and also being in the studio, and nothing sound familiar from when I heard things in the studio a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Did you flesh out everything that I heard, or just didn't recognize?
Yeah, I just completely did a completely new album.
Why?
Just, I wanted something that felt with the energy, just what the universe was giving me. I wanted something that matched that energy.
Why the number 7 on the projects that's coming out yet?
That's something that just, hit me. That was just a gut feeling. But then I read information about it afterwards, about the power of the number 7 and completion and the God number.
Did you know that before going in?
I knew a little bit about it. I always heard about 7s. I saw 7s. I went to Michael Jackson's archive, and he had all these jackets that said 777 on them. So, yeah, it just feels complete, though.
Why the album title Ye?
Well, I believe Ye is the most commonly used word in the Bible, and in the Bible it means you. So it's, I'm you, I'm us. It's us. It went from being Kanye, which means the only one, to just Ye, just being a reflection of our good, our bad, our confused, everything. That I'm just more of a reflection of who we are, just as beings. Yeah.
It's crazy to hear you say that, because I was thinking when I heard Ye, when I was listening to the album, I was like, he's giving us, you've always given us something, but it seems like the body of music, Kanye, that you're giving us, it feels a lot more personal. It feels like there's a moment in time that you put into a capsule. Is that something that you felt like you were trying to do, or did that just manifest by itself?
I think it came from me just continually going against mass opinion, and I was able to find my voice. Because I started off with my voice, and this is what happens to a lot of artists. They start off with their voice, and then they start having to do so many records for so many different people, and is this person gonna be happy, is that gonna be person? And I just had to stand in front of that board every morning and ask myself, do these songs truly make me happy? Are these songs I want to play back? Does the song make me cry? Does the song take me somewhere?
Did you make music, and how people say, oh, I miss the old Kanye, but did you make music like that where it felt good to you, and if it felt good to you, then it felt good to us as well, as opposed to people please? Did you feel like you was caught up in a cycle of pleasing everybody?
I just think when you start reaching late 30s, and it was this whole movement of when you in your 30s, we don't want to hear no music from you anymore. And I just got to a place where it's just art, period. And then I think when people say the old Kanye, it's really, I was talking to Manop about this, 40 years growing up in Chicago, listening to Kells, listening to the radio, listening to all the type of Teddy Riley, all this type of stuff. Is it's inside of what me and Ty Dolla were doing with the chords inside of it. That's 40 years of experience inside of that album.
You could put your own imprint into something, and people know exactly what it is. Then you have created something that's dear to us, And so when we look at music, bro, when we say music is a soundtrack to our lives. My daughter is 15 years of age, right? This Vultures 1, and I told her, I said 2 is ridiculous, because I've heard 2. This is a soundtrack to her life. And there's decades between our births, but there's something in that music that brings us together. No matter how much clutter is going on outside, there's a safe zone or something that's in music that and especially what you guys created, and the people that y'all brought to the table, that I felt it's so cliche and easy to say, oh man, we were missing this. we're missing this. But we were missing this. Did you guys feel like, not that y'all feeling in a void, but we needed this Vultures, or we needed this collaboration, and not egotistically?
Well, you said to not speak egotistically, so I'm not gonna talk.
Right. Well, speak egotistically.
Come, in the studio with him, it was like taking it to a whole nother level, picking them parts. I'll come with a song, for instance, and the song will be fully done as far as I'm concerned. He come back, man, change that shit like 20 times.
Yeah, no, not
and
yet.
like it go from like a dance music song to Back to Me. Like if you would have heard the first Back to Me, it was like completely different. He took my song, put it in the ASR 10, which is a keyboard with a sampler, slowed it down, rocked the sample like that. Then that was in Japan. Then we get to Italy, we play it again, we got some words to it. Then we going through some drums, he pick a whole different thing. I'm like thinking it's not it. All of a sudden it's crazy. So
Yeah, it does get worse before it gets better. It's like when girls have like plastic surgery, like that when they get like the BBL, they gotta like drive in the car and like they kind of like
sit on pads, hurting each other.
No, they can't even sit on pad and stuff. They definitely can't get on Spirit. They gotta.
Yes, sir.
So it get that like that moment right there, but then waking up, is she gorgeous? I'm like, I would like tell Ty like a song like the BBL's almost ready.
Right.
It's almost ready for the summer.
Does he say that to you? Like, do y'all also not only compliment each other, can you tell each other what's not working? And can you put Ye back in the booth? And
sure.
Can Ye put you back in?
I tried to remove the cursing a bunch of times, and he was like, I was like, oh, what do you think? At the last one, I'm like, what do you think we make this thing all clean? He's like,
No.
The Taylor Swift line on Famous. Did you really talk to Taylor Swift? And was she cool with what was said in the opening of that verse?
Yes, I told her that we was gonna say that.
Right. And it's a trip, Kanye. Like you could have
Well,
danced.
no, I didn't tell her.
Right.
I asked her how she felt about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you could have danced around and played with words, but do you feel like if you do that it takes away from not even a message, but to take away from the music, like from you being an artist?
Yeah, artists and just hip hop. This is what we do, man. Just say how you feel, man. The music is all we got. It's our only opportunity to fully express ourselves. Now, if we take our expression off the drums, we already can't make a move when we at the award show. We lose everything, you know what I'm saying? But if you can't even express yourself on the drums, what expression do you have?
And you know what, man? I was under the impression that there was absolutely no rapping on this album. I was under that impression. And my thing is, man, there is, of course, there's singing on there. And our question to you is, why did Kanye move into that direction of doing more singing as opposed to what we were used to from the norm from Kanye?
I wanted people to take my words into their soul and have it embedded in their life and their spirits and the energy. And when I was a shorty, when they taught us stuff, they taught it with melody. Like the ABCs. A, B, C, D, E, F, So I'm about to express my stuff with melody. And have it be a fine line where you don't know if it's rapping or what it is. It's just what's necessary at the time, what I feel like, what the beat makes me do. And people talking about, I know it's every second, can I just go back and just be old Kanye just for 1 second? I know it's people thinking right now, they thought before they heard Hollis that, it was safe. That it was safe, Kanye's over here, it's all good now. We safe now. And as you see, nobody's safe. I'm coming for the spot. It's our people with #1 spots right now. And I'm coming back to get my spot. I'm not really playing like people. I think people might thought I was playing games or doing something just real, avant-garde or something like that. But I'm coming to make the best music I can possibly make, and I want to connect with the most people. I'm not doing this to only have 2 people with it in their car. Like, I'm doing this to make the most incredible album you've ever heard. And if it's not that, then I go in the studio again and work on another one. We got a long way to go before we get to Off the Wall and Thriller. But I might have, you know, I'm sorry, Mom, I'm not trying to use so much incorrect English and stuff.
Do you enjoy music where you are right now?
Yeah, I love the art of it. There's songs like Do It. I love the song, and I hadn't loved a song like that at that tempo since Back That Thing Up. So that's what made me think. I was like, man, I love Juvenile and Manny Fresh and Cash Money. Like, this is like, they used to be playing like house music and hip hop music in the club, and like me and my guys would come in and make them play Cash Money. Whoa, Kimo Sabe, big ballin' is my hobby. Like, and like Juvenile, the Hot video, and just the 400 Degrees album, and you know, just leaning into things. I believe the music came across because I leaned into things that I like when I liked what I liked and shit. You know, whether it was like looking at pornography or listening to Juvenile or buying my first chain from Jacob or wherever I got it. I had a real chain, but then I had like a fake rollie and fake earring, but I had to get the kit because the All-Star game was coming up. I couldn't go with just a chain.
We gotta have a costume. You know what I'm saying?
I had to get the Range Rover 4.0 and try to cover the O and make it a 6 because Jay-Z had like wiped that out. But all of these subjects, you know, I remember sitting with North in Italy and playing her Back to Me and asking her, you know, what do you think about this line in the middle of the song? And I was like, do you think I should change this? And she's like, you know, it's a good song. Sometimes I feel like my mom speaks through her. Wow. So I'm like, she's like, it's a good song. This is just a banger. Like, you gotta say what you feel. You know, a lot of times when you go into the whole Jesus, devout, Paul level, fell off a donkey level religious, you have thoughts in your mind and that you hiding them from yourself. And then you sitting there and the whole choir is fucking, y'all singing about not fucking.
With you and Schoolboy. Remember, I called you up, I said, Kanye, I know I had something to do with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I did.
You
That
didn't.
part.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did.
What happened?
What are you? I didn't have nothing to do with you and Schoolboy getting together.
Oh, yeah, getting together. I thought you said you wrote our raps.
Oh no. He was like, "Hey man, you wouldn't even have played along with that either." He was like,
I didn't.
"No, you didn't." Is that taboo for really for someone to? Because singers, you can sing the most beautiful song. It doesn't have to be written by you. Is it taboo really today for somebody else to say someone else's rhyme?
Not at all. We sing. You know what I'm saying? You in the studio. People got ideas. It's just certain artists that like don't write for other people and don't accept it. Like, I've never seen 2 Chainz. Like, I've sat and played 2 Chainz whole song. I said, man, can you help me with this line right here? And he'd just be, look, face. He don't say nothing.
He don't give it to you like
no lines.
You got to figure that one out for yourself.
Yeah, yourself. You got to figure out your own lines, man.
You can only see what's immediately in front of you. Like when they say Delulu, it's like we lean on a lot of delusional concepts, and then it's just actual real concepts. Like, say, like, you know, a big topic right now is are we gonna sell the album? And the concept that, you know, the streaming companies have made a deal with the people that were in ownership of our contract and decided to give us, you know, a percentage of a penny. Mm-hmm. And people aren't getting paid properly, and you got people that are fans saying, oh, you know, I don't have the money for this, I don't have that. We used to just getting it for free, so they've lowered the value of what we do and what we make. Like our music, part of the reason why it's so much better is, like, obviously you got super mega talents, but it costs a lot to make this album too. We was in Saudi, Italy, flights, car service, strippers, you know, it was expensive.
That. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you feel like, how will the album go out? You know what I'm saying?
You mean
like,
the next ones?
Yeah.
You know, we talked about like how a movie, like Dune, we went to go see Dune, and they'll keep that movie a month, 2 months before it goes to a Disney streaming Netflix, Hulu, or something like that. With our music, they acting like this ain't even luxury, like it don't deserve to have this moment where people who truly appreciate the people come out to the theater, the people who, you know, talk about every line and want to hear it and see the, you know, see the listening sessions. Those early adopters, like, it's just supposed to be like, just free. Like, even like, here's an example. Somebody I was working with put the album for $5 on my site. Everyone know my site at Yeezy.com is $20 for everything.
Right.
Then my album, like, this album costs millions of dollars to make, hardship, overcoming like personal threats to everyone that was on it. Like, people was threatening our lives, threatening our well-being, and actually not even playing with the money, canceling bank accounts. I got cousins whose Chase accounts got fired. This is real Black Mirror things that happen. So when it went #1, you know, I called different people I know, like, yo, do you think Universal was capping my last albums ever since the Taylor Swift moment? And no one could deny that that was happening.
Like, not showing real numbers and the power.
Just limiting, turn it down, turn that boy down. That boy that went on stage and said Beyonce had the best video, turn that down. All the Lights is like number 28. All the Lights is a runaway. You know, Niggas in Paris was not a #1 record.
What do you think when people say that can't happen?
What can't
Like,
happen?
oh, no, that's too big. That's a conspiracy. Like, people, like what you're saying right now, there's probably somebody that think, nah, that can't happen. But it can happen.
For sure it can happen.
And it does happen.
And it
did happen.
My whole thing, it'd be in front of y'all face. That's what I like. When people drop this mental health shit, it makes it seem like, oh, it's like your family member that's seeing ghosts and y'all can't see it. What I love the most is y'all seen multiple ghosts. Y'all seen the ghost of, wow, they froze his account. Y'all seen the ghost of, wow, they're selling his shoes against his will with his name on it. Y'all seeing the ghost of, wow, that man went independent and went #1. These are a lot of like myths.
When you drop an album and people kind of gravitate towards it, but you were in a position where it seemed like people couldn't separate personal Kanye and the so-called artist Kanye. Did you have a problem with that?
Nah, that's what brought me the energy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I was in the office in Calabasas and everything was nice and everything was all good. And then just something like turned, you know what I'm saying? And then I started getting all this energy. And, you know, some would say it's negative, positive. I don't believe in negative, positive. I just believe in energy. And that started coming. I was like, I know what to do with this. I'm taking all that in. Give me everything you got. I want all the smoke. I want whatever you got. Bring it, you know? And because I know what to do with the energy. My dad talked about it, power versus force. It's almost like Tai Chi. You can like, take that, soak that in, wake up in the morning, take a walk for 2 hours, and do your art.
Now, do you ever, when you're doing your music, do you ever say like, because I'm listening to one and you start off and you say, you know, you don't have the answers, Sway. And then I think the next line was, slavery was a choice. Was it yeah? What I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah. It said how yeah. That's what they
how
did.
yeah.
That's they paraphrased me in the first place.
Yeah.
So
like how yeah. So why did you make sure that you did address that when the world was talking about TMZ Live, slavery was a choice? Why did you pull back and address that yourself?
I completely redid the album after TMZ. You know, and we just sat there and like really honed in on the words. Because also we know now it's like it's all headline and stuff, like every bar can be used. You know, it's even bars that we had about that. I took a bar off the album.
Why?
It was just too sensitive. It was about that topic and stuff. And I just like, yo, I'm gonna just chill right now. Let's just keep making some music. You know, I feel like as a son and as a family member of the world, you know what I'm saying? That's the reason why the world won't let me go, because I'm just a family member. They might disagree with me on certain shit, but I'm their family. I've been here for 15 years, 18 years. And, you know, I feel like the best thing I could do is sit there and go in that studio and keep chopping that thing that only I know how to do, and only me and my crew know how to do.
Do you feel like music is a real outlet for you, Kanye? Like if you couldn't press record, it's not about us hearing it, it's about actually making it.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I'm so blessed and so privileged, because think about people that have mental issues that are not Kanye West, that can't go and make that and make it feel like it's all good. Think about somebody that does exactly what I did at TMZ, and they just do that at work, right? But then Tuesday morning they come in and they lost their job.
Yeah, bro.
And they can't go back and make that. You know, that's why God put that on me at age 40. I never been diagnosed till I was like 39 years old and stuff. So put that on me as...
What do you mean by diagnosed?
Diagnosed with a mental condition. Yeah.
And we, I think, does everyone have something?
I think everybody got something. I think everybody got something. But like I said, on the album I said it's not a disability, it's a superpower.
Right. And when you, and I noticed you said breakthrough sometimes as well, man.
Yeah.
And even with TMZ, whatever's going on, recording the album, do you feel like everything is kind of a blessing in disguise, because what because what came out of it is what we get a chance to hear on Ye?
Oh yeah, no good, no bad, it just is. It's a beautiful time to be alive. We've been here before, and we're gonna be here again. I'm gonna see you again.
I hope so, man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you this next life too.
All right. You probably told me before because you sound familiar.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just want to tell you once again, man, congratulations, bro. And you do have people that continue to root for you. And then also, we also got to be the cat that pull our brother back sometime and say, hold on, man, but we got to talk like this. You know what I'm saying? Not talk on air, not talk crazy. But I love what you're doing, bro. I want to see you continue to break through. And I thank you for this time, man. And I thank you for this energy and this event that we were so honored to come to, bro.
I'm so glad to see you. I love you, bro.
I love you, Ye. What's the relationship behind you and Designer?
I met him at the airport, actually, and the way he was just dancing to the music, it just, I was like, this man, it's just pure feeling, energy, artistry, melody, all that. He's working on something right now. He's about to release, and it's incredible records on.
But as many people that come up to Kanye, and I'm pretty sure you get, can I rap for you? Can I say what? That had to be an energy that you just saw that was like, man, this dude, he's in line.
Exactly. Or he out of line.
Right,
out the box.
Right.
Yeah. And then also we're gonna do a version of that song, which we have not titled yet. That's gonna be like a 12, 15-minute version with every single good music artist on it.
Hey man, now for those of you just tuning in, man, we got Kanye West up here. It's Kanye Day, and he played. We just did a world premiere on a single. Just the features on there, and you were saying it's like, I don't want to say it, but when you walk back in, you was like, man, when we played that, it was like the.
Say
it.
You go ahead and say it.
He said it's like the Avengers of rap.
Yeah.
Which it is true, man. And you know, you get excited when you start to hear who's coming next. Who's coming next? You know what I'm saying? And already, if we got, and I'm just going off the top of my head right here, we got Designer, we got Kanye, we got 2 Chainz, Big Sean, Gucci. Yeah. So just right there off the top right there, it's like, man.
Yeah.
And you saying you probably may come with another 10, 15, 12-minute version of that?
Exactly.
What's the vision for that? More features?
It's more bars, just more not having to turn that record off. You know what I mean? You at the gym, you driving, you whatever you're doing and stuff. Like, you know, we don't have to put it. Already the song is 6 minutes. You know, we don't have to follow the normal constructs. When you got the Avengers, you got to give them a movie.
Take me through the life of Pablo as well, man.
Yes, sir.
It seemed like you put your blood, sweat, and tears into a project. What was that like working on the life of Pablo?
Man, it was an emotional roller coaster. You know, how do you graduate to this level of life? You know, as a rapper, where every day, you know, you can't just be saying, I'm gonna grab your all that type of lyric. That'd be on media takeout the next morning and stuff. Like, what did Ye say exactly? Is that people, you know, watching every single line you do. So how do you express yourself to the maximum and be Ye? And it's funny, I dialed into, you know, being married. That's not like a normal rap topic.
And I remember at one point, Kanye, you said it was almost like you said you had a writer's block because you didn't know how to write from being like a husband.
Yeah, because I always had that perspective of all these go-tos. I could talk about this girl, that girl, blah, blah. And then, you know, what was amazing for artists is when you do have parameters to rap in, like say like Eminem he couldn't say the N-word.
Right,
and it forced him to think of every other word possible. And it made him one of the greatest rappers.
Yes, sir.
And so now, soon as like anybody come and play me a record, I get a idea quick that's related to my actual lifestyle argument I might have had in the kitchen or something like that. And I'm like, man, this would be perfect for a verse. Everybody's gonna relate to this. You know, like I say, me and wifey make a smoothie. Man, we make a movie. I fix myself a smoothie. Like, how many people wake up in the morning, fix a smoothie, and then, you know, go make a movie.
And I invented every style of music of the past 20 years. I created the genre. I created weekend genre, Trav, Drake. You know, I'm going ahead and say With All Love, Future and Thug also, because the auto-tune album, 808s. If you think about it, no one think about it. Everybody think about Trav, Weekend, and Drake, but no one thinks about Future and Thug also, the auto-tune album.
I don't want to have to be doing Gold Digger when I'm 50 years old.
Right. Not have to. Like
I want to do it for fun. I want to do it. I want to be joking, playing around. Like, oh, man, you're going to make me get up and do this Gold Digger.
Come on, man, do it, man.
I go
Y'all
ahead.
don't want to see old Ray.
I don't want to be, you know, up there having to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But on this one, I felt like, you know, the song sounds good. Like, it might be little tweaks on that mix that could be better that I've, like, you try to control so much. And what I see in life now is you can't control everything. And God makes certain things happen for a reason, the way things line up, the synergy, the idea of 808s and heartbreak. And I didn't even realize I was recording in Hawaii and I had to call the hotel and the area code was 808. Yeah, it was like interesting ways that the synergy lined up where I felt like this is my path. You know, I had 2 songs done when Dave, the head of MTV, came to me and said that the closing act had pulled out for the MTV Awards. And I played him Heartless and I played him Love Lockdown. And he was like, I like Love Lockdown. I said, okay, cool, that's the first single, let's go.
Oh, yeah, now, hello.
Wow.
Yeah. We got Kanye up in here, ladies and gentlemen. 808s and Heartbreak. It is going down. And what I want to do also, man, is I want to speak with you about a record that I haven't heard yet. But is it the Coldest Winter record? Is that the one that's for Mom?
Yeah.
I don't know if we can hear it or whatever. And at due time when you do release it to us, it'll be our pleasure. But I just wanted to.
I mean, I'm playing for you on the radio right now. I don't
There
care.
you go.
I was like 2 months from bankruptcy, from like hundreds of millions of dollars, just getting like raped, Michael Jacksoned by like, you know, the people around, like how people was taking Mike's money, Michael Tyson, Michael Jackson, celebrities, Prince, whatever and shit. People, you got new employees, you got all that, and we cleaning all them employees up, doing industry standards, industry rates, got my Shopify account right, then said, boom, we're gonna do this $20. Then we did the Super Bowl. And the fact that I was able to show factual $19.3 million of sale in one day, the next day is 15 million, the next day was 11 million, but in one day, at the same time when the music was coming out, this was just us and the people at the end of the day. But even with the streams, it's like, on one end, you'd be like, it's like, stay away from the lie, because, oh, we're #1. We had streams. How many niggas went #1 and never made $1 billion? Drake still ain't made $1 billion. This is as big as our Bad Bunny. They not gonna set that man Bad Bunny up to make $1 billion. They're gonna give him the same pack that they gave Drake, that Lucian pack, whatever it is. Everybody, and everybody that does music, maybe this is not a outside, but anyone in the music industry knows that Drake and Bad Bunny got that same, you know, that push. We're gonna push this radio. We're gonna push this. We're gonna push that. And that pack was removed from me, you know, ever since the Taylor Swift thing. So to hit this #1 is such a fuck you, and people need to understand how valuable it is to be able to tell people.
And
fuck
you did that. Y'all did that for you.
What did what?
The music, everything, that's for you. And sometimes when something comes with it, like even with my situations, right, radio, so on and so forth, whatever I did to leave one and go to the other, it wasn't about elevating, like, oh, it was about me doing my thing. And if a F you came with it, if a fuck you came with it, it came with it.
I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to rap for Jay-Z or something or get a record deal. Now having the ability to come up and just play this new music and be excited about it, not even have it. You know, they started calling like, should we get this cleared? Should we do this? I was like, nah, man, you gonna kill the magic.
Right.
We just gotta bring this up here right now. Let people feel it. Let people get y'all reactions the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's you know, hip hop is something that is you can't kill the feel and the energy that people have around, especially when people come together like this and collaborate. Like it's like when people first heard No More Parties in LA. And you just, even when they heard about the idea of me and Kendrick doing something together, that got you excited. It's like I live for the excitement. I live for the sport.
Do you feel like there's a different focus on music now? You know how you could come out the gate and somebody could do 1 million albums in 1 week. Now it's kind of like, do you feel like there's a different focus on music?
Yeah, I feel like, you know, people have just figured out, everyone's figured out different ways to capitalize it. And I bet you there's a time when it went from just being a performance, you know, at big bands to it actually being on gramophones, to being on records. People are like, man, it ain't like when it was the performance. I can't believe we listened to the record. And it went from the 45s to putting whole albums out there. And people are, oh, man, it's a whole album. I liked it when it was just a single. Then they got it where it's like, okay, it's on the radio. And then people start doing music videos. And you heard that song where people say video.
Killed the radio star.
Killed the radio star. Man, I can't believe it's a music video. I don't want to have to think about that. And then it's like we went from, you know, being able to sell so many albums to now, going into streaming. And it's every time it's making a transition, but people still need the music. They need the energy.
Does Kanye make records to please himself, please the people, or both?
I think it's both. Mm-hmm. Like Real Friends is, you know, best rap song in years in my personal opinion. Like for what I love in rap. Mm-hmm. Whether it's, you know, mixing those havoc drums, what I'm talking about, you know, even Famous, like that type of it's the feeling of what I grew up with in hip hop.
Like we did Workout Plan, Up Tempo, then we did Addiction, second album, Up Tempo, then Third Time's a Charm, my biggest album of my career, is that never let nobody psych you out, man. Title's still up and running at the end of the day. Like when a black man came and said, I'm gonna do my own streaming network. I never seen Jay-Z so-called take a public L until he did that, until he stepped out and said, this is what I'm gonna do now. They putting up like 80% of the fans won't buy the album. Are you sure? It's $20. I got 20 million Instagram followers, and that's cap. You know, it's like niggas walking around with 500 million. They ain't that much more famous than me. But if you just take the conversion rate, 5% of that 20 million would be 1 million records. Think about this. They be having, I don't play wax. No knock to the fans. It's beautiful to do, got the Fuck Adidas record and everything, but I don't play records. I don't play CDs. So we be spending half our time as artists focus on the music, the other half trying to do the Trav and Taylor Swift numbers. What amount of work? And then Adele or whoever, they got a hand in the album this much early, and it's all for the accolades and numbers. It's not really adding up to real financial numbers, and it's not converting really the amount of fans they have. So say I get a 5% conversion rate on my Instagram followers, what's that gonna mean to Taylor Swift or somebody? What's that gonna mean to people with like 500 million in Instagram followers? You know what I'm saying? They try to pit me against Taylor Swift, me against whoever in the music industry, and it's like, yeah, get that man talking back and forth on the phone with Dave Chappelle. Get that man like making sub songs to Drake. Get that man, say Taylor Swift kicked him out, or Shaq said this, and now I'm just like, man, I'm here for everybody in this lifetime. I feel like a lot of the shit that like the you-know-who's do with our contracts and shit just come from fear of losing control. And mugs just don't play fair. They put information in there, they pay off the lawyers, and they put you in a situation where you ain't gonna make no money from it. But now you got TikTok, you got streaming. Everyone's afraid of how they gonna still support their families.
Right.
And there's some kind of like simpler way through honesty, which is hard, but engineering to make, people say you can't make everybody happy, but I've seen situations where a song makes everybody happy. I've seen, water pipe, like LA, they got the LA River closed off and shit. That's the first thing. That's the first open up the river. But everybody here with a show of hands, it's like, wasn't there a time when we didn't have water? Then we got too much water? Then we had water? Like, it's like...
I got wind of a record called The Coldest Winter. And also, man, if I could just real quick, from the newspaper today, it says, where there was a quote in here, it says, I've talked so much about labels, calling myself the Louis Vuitton Don and saying Mercedes this and that. The irony is for me to lose the person most important in the world to me to Hollywood. And I was just asking the crew, like it reads, and I think I know the definition of that, but what does that actually mean when you say it?
Certain things I just say just to touch on them real quick, then that go and have a straight, Oprah moment with it. But to say, to stand up as a man and be like, I feel like sometimes if, me and my mom never moved to Hollywood, that you'd still be here.
Now the song, the Coldest Winter, that's a song for or about moms, that the one that's dedicated to moms?
Yeah. But it could be taken, people can take this music the way they want. If any loss they suffer, whether it's a loss in a relationship or loss of a loved one,
All right.
We didn't even have the concept of what the next cover was. We were like, I believe this is, I said, we were like, I believe this is the strongest image for that. And then we're sitting in Paris, and I'm sitting with my wife, and I'm sitting with my visual director, Oz, and we're sitting in the Ritz. And I think it's like Pharrell, he pulled up, a few people was hanging out, and we're just drawing, and there's a sketch, original sketch, we should put this sketch out, and came to this idea of like Ty holding TC, his brother that's locked up. And when that cover, that idea came, it impacted our approach to what we were gonna do musically. A visual, the big word now is like sentiment. The sentiment made even the first cover stronger.
Right.
And then the Vultures project stronger. And the music it helped guide the direction of music on where we're going on Vultures 2 and 3. And we still haven't decided a cover for 3.
Is that hard being a producer, having somebody else produce you?
No, I like to get some direction. I like to get, that's why we have A&Rs. I like getting opinions and just, as we creating that art piece, you get the right type of vibe in the room. We get only artists, no critics. Nobody that's telling you, oh, well, people, we kicked all critics out. You know what I'm saying, on this album. You know what I'm saying?
So you don't swayed by what's being played like on radio, because you get critics or somebody in there to say, oh, we need to make a record that sound like
that's
this.
What a critic would do, come in and tell you what they feel someone else is going to say about something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like only people in the studio that have they feeling, they reaction. How do you feel about it?
I remember doing like encore for Jay-Z, and because I had some experience on stage, I could help him make a hologram in his mind to envision exactly what would happen when he plays it. Like right now, we need a Vultures chant because people sitting there waiting, and the crowd wants to hear their voice together like they hear on Carnival. So just have some Vultures, because right now they're just saying, fuck Adidas.
Right.
Is Jesus is King? Is it a rap album, gospel album, or is it an album that you can't categorize?
It is a rap album. I mean, as you might have heard, there was times where I said, I don't know if God want me to rap. I was thinking, I was like,
I heard you say with your pastor that you felt like you were making devil's music.
yeah, because you're such a fucking, oh, I love it. Excuse me, Christian scorecard down a little bit, cursing some more. But I got to a point where I was always letting that Playboy magazine that I found when I was 5 years old have an effect on my music. it couldn't never be 100% everything it could be, because I had to add that in always. And it got to the point where literally I went from Jesus Walks to You're Such a Fucking Hoe, I Love It.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I bet you the devil was happy on that day. And where that record went, straight to what? Number one, quick. This is exactly what we want. This fit right in with whatever else we got. This fit right in with everything we got to deal with opioids. This fit right in with everything we got that promotes killing so that we can have more slaves in the mass incarceration, never-ended slave system. This fit right in.
Why did you make it?
Because I was asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was drowned. Because I was lost.
What do you want us to get from Jesus as King?
The title right there. The fact that everyone says that is enough. There was times we would think about, well, let's call it Christ Jesus. You know, that's what the old folks say in the church. Let's call it this. Let's call and oh man, you know what, Jesus is King is too affirmative, because Christians, we be out here, because on one end it's like, are we too judgmental? Are we not judgmental? Are we saying what we supposed to say? Are we not? It's Christians, it's hard to have a position because we so drowned out by music and culture. Oh, that's not cool. Take that preaching over there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Christians that told me the title Jesus is King is too heavy-handed. Now people be hitting Quince like, man, when that JR, when that's dropping, when that Jesus is King dropping. So there's an opportunity where people are coming for the music, but they may leave with salvation. It's easy, man. It's very simple. It is paradise or Fahrenheit.
I hear you. Either it's paradise or it's that hot get down.
Or it's Fahrenheit. And let me tell you, it's like, working for God. I told you 10 years ago, it's all I ever want to do. Now I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
These interviews, to me, they remind me of when I first got with my wife. And people was like bringing up other women's name in the interview, and they was trying to diss my wife. And you're going to see some documentation. I'm spazzing on people. Right, this is one of the most beautiful people ever lived. Right. And now I've given my life to Christ, and I got this rap to say, what have you been hearing from the Christians? They'll be the first one to judge me, make it feel like nobody loved me. Because literally the process of being delivered, you really be by yourself when it happens. Mm-hmm. Because the Christians don't believe you, and all the people that's not Christian is like, oh, you weird now, you Christian.
Hey, bro, I can't wait to see what's next. You know what I'm saying? It was very necessary for us to sit down, bro. This felt so good. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for giving me this chance and this opportunity to just sit down. And I know y'all could have sat down with anyone in the world. And I mean, because that's what I'm telling you, bro. Like, there's times when I look up and y'all treat the world like it's fucking a city over. I look up and you guys are like, oh, yeah, man, you know, they're right here and you just flew in from Italy. You flew in from Paris. So y'all could have really been anywhere in the world, bro, and sat with anyone. And I thank you guys for sitting down with me, man. This is my 30-year anniversary. You guys made this so special to me. This is like my kickoff, like my real kickoff interview for like my 30th year, bro. And I couldn't think of anyone else to sit down with, and this one made sense. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue to shock the world, bro. Yeah. And I see you don't have no real hands to hold your tongue, so don't hold it. You know what I'm saying? Best believe that, man.
All I got the Titanic. Yeah. And I would say I appreciate you, and I appreciate Doc. He over there, you know.
Yes, sir.
So I appreciate both y'all.
Man, do you remember one time I was at a you was calling me, and I was looking and I was like, oh shit, yay, damn, yay. I answered the phone, and I'm at Coachella, and you hear, and you like, Big, I need you out here. I'm like, where you at? He was like, man, I'm in Africa. I'm like, you in Africa? I'm like, bro, I'm at Coachella. You know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, I need you out here. I'm like, yay. I can't go to Africa. You're like, I'm gonna put a plane and come on out here. And I'm like, bro, to Africa? I don't have nothing. I'm saying everything not to go. I'm not packed. We'll shop when you get here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a plane, man. Other motherfuckers, like Ani, everybody was like, oh, I would have jumped on that plane. You know what I'm saying? No, I didn't go. But you know what that is too, bro?
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about right now too, man. And no disrespect, Doc. That's the freedom. Now, I don't want to leave my family, but that's the freedom of not being able to go because I had to be at work.
Okay, can I just sit in this seat right now? I'm gonna just change seats right now, and I'm gonna be you from what you just said.
Okay.
I just wanna say, you know, I sat down with Ye, and I wanna just tell all y'all niggas here, fuck all of y'all, I'm headed to Africa.
Hello! Man, I appreciate you, bro. Leave it up here. Yay, yay!